Hello again, everybody. Welcome to OCVarsity.com for our Gridiron Show. It is week 6 of the football season. I'm Steve Fryer here, surrounded by greatness. I've got Carlos Arias on this side. I got Dan Albano on this side. And behind the camera, doing all the cool things, making us look good, Jonathan Killer Khamis. All right, let's take a look at the games. We talked a little bit about Foothill Villa Park on the intro. It's going to be a huge game. To me, this game is for the Century League Championship, kind of a game I was looking forward to all season long. Guys, this looks like a great matchup to me. Almost a coin flip sort of game. I'll tell you who I think is going to win after I talk to Dan Albano first. Dan, tell us what you think of this one. Who's going to win it?
You know, I think the two of the most important players in this game are both going to be the kickers for each team. Villa Park Sanders and Foothill's Peel. I mean, this game is coming down to the wires, fellas. This is a great game. Two really good teams. I think very evenly matched teams. It's a really hard game for me to pick. But the team I'm going to pick is going to be Foothill because I've seen Villa Park twice. I've seen Foothill once. And Foothill really impressed me with how disciplined and how focused they were and how clean a football they were playing. But I just have a feeling that Foothill seems real focused. They got playmakers this year with the Mosses brothers, and I think they're going to get the victory. But it's going to maybe come down to a field goal.
Carlos Arias, agree or disagree?
Okay, I don't know about the field goal thing. It's going to be tight. You're definitely right about that. Foothill's got that explosiveness. And let's remind everybody, their only loss was to Tustin. Yeah. And they had a 14-point lead in that game. They could be number 1 in this division if they win that game. So, I mean, Foothill's on a roll right now. Villa Park, though, they're mentally tough, physically tough. They pound the ball. I like that style. I like that they rely on their defense and their physicalness. And Meki Tafuna, I love that guy. I'm going with Villa Park.
All right, well, I'm going with Foothill, and I like what Dan said about the playmakers. I think those Moss fellas make a difference. Villa Park, very physical football team. Foothill's going to have to match that up pretty good.
I've been changing my mind on that all day, too, seriously. So, I could go with Foothill tomorrow. So
yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's a coin flip game, guys. I mean, it really is. And for more on the Foothill Villa Park football game, we caught up with Foothill coach Doug Case and a couple of the Foothill players.
These great bunch of kids, they've worked hard. They had a great off season, and they set some very lofty goals, and all my teams in the past have also, and some came to fruition, and some haven't. But this team is a hard-working team. Their on-the-field intelligence is incredible. We're able to do a lot of different things on both sides of the ball.
Now, when you play a team like Villa Park, only a few miles away, I'm sure you know a lot of these guys growing up playing them. What's that like?
It's fun because you know some of the guys on their team as opposed to not knowing anyone. And it's just like past that high school rivalry, like your childhood memories, all those things come into play.
So you like having that kind of pressure at the end of the game on your back?
Yeah, I've never really had it before, but I definitely be up for the challenge.
Okay, so this week we're going to see it. Last-second field goal.
Let's hope so.
All right, I'm here with Foothill's explosive duo, Julian and Jarrell Moss. And Julian, first of all, big game this week. I'm at the wrong Moss. Julian.
Yeah, we're looking to just dominate them, see what we can do, stop the run game, and then see if we can just pass on them or run the ball like we did against Elmo.
Right on. Let's go to Jarrell. Jarrell, talk about, what this game means. I mean, the Century League title's on the line, Southwest Division seedings. I mean, it's a lot going on right here this week.
It's a lot. We haven't won league, even though we beat Villa Park our sophomore year. We still did not get the league championship, so that's going to be our goal this year, to win league and then see where we can go from there.
Right on. And I'm getting confused right here, so we're going to send it back to Steve Fryer.
All right, now looking at a South Coast League game, we got San Clemente playing at El Toro. This is El Toro's South Coast League debut, well, first South Coast League game in quite some years. But, we've always wondered about all year long, all during the summer, getting ready for the season, about El Toro and how they would do going and moving up from the Seaview to the South Coast League. Connor Manning is throwing for ridiculous amounts of yards. What a slacker, only 306 yards last week, right? But, that's below his 500 per game average or whatever the heck the kid's doing. And so, it's an interesting challenge for them, but, this is not the San Clemente of last year. I think we've seen that. They lost pretty big to Edison last week with 31-3. And so I think that this is another step for El Toro. I think they're really going to get challenged down the road when they got to play Mishviejo and Tesoro. I'm looking for El Toro to roll and play pretty darn well in this one. What do you think, Carlos?
Yeah, you know what? This whole thing about is Connor Manning the real deal? Enough already. He went to all these off-season camps, and he was just blowing people away, winning awards. the guy's going to throw for yards on everybody. The question is, can they stop anybody? You know, that's the big question. San Clemente's quarterback, Sean Donnelly, we're going to find out about him on Wednesday if he's going to be good to go. Either way, though, I don't think they can go touchdown for touchdown with El Toro. I'm taking El Toro.
Yeah, and not too many teams can go TD for TD with those Chargers, man. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, this is a bit of I think of a defensive nightmare for San Clemente. I mean, Coach Ortiz, the San Clemente coach, is a defensive-minded coach, but I think they're going to have their work cut out for him with Connor Manning and 6 outstanding receivers for El Toro. I think El Toro, I mean, I'm a little concerned about him coming off a game off Garden Grove is not the kind of opponent you want to be playing if you're El Toro in the Pac-5 going into the South Coast League. So I don't know how sharp El Toro might be initially adjusting to a big Pac-5 game, but I think El Toro can get the victory based on that high-powered offense.
Yeah, so all three of us are in agreement with that one there. All right, let's move over to the Trinity League Friday night at Saddleback College. The field's in pretty good shape over there, by the way. I was pretty impressed by seeing that. Okay, Santa Margarita, number 1 in the county against Servite. Santa Margarita comes in 5-0 in this non-league game. Servite's 2-3, comes off a victory they needed. A victory they needed. They finally scored some points against St. Paul, so they got a little bit of momentum going into this thing. All right, we all know that Santa Margarita quarterback Johnny Stanton is not playing, tore the ACL a couple weeks ago. I still think, guys, that Santa Margarita's got way too many playmakers all over the field, and Santa Margarita gets this game. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, they have playmakers, but I think the biggest advantage they have in this game is going to be the offensive and defensive lines. I think, Santa Margarita is going to have a pretty superior size advantage, especially on the offensive line of the Eagles against the defensive front of the Servite Friars. And we'll see how they do, adjusting that quarterback, if it's going to be Canty or if it's going to be Sweet. Maybe, one word I heard out when I went and saw Stanton was, out of practice was maybe we'd see Connor O'Brien a little bit at quarterback. So we'll see what they do. But I think Santa Margarita opens a tough Trinity League with the victory.
What do you think, Carlos, the Santa Margarita victory again?
Santa Margarita victory, heavy dose of Brian Wolpen. Yeah. And I also heard about Connor O'Brien. Might see a little wildcat out of him mixed in with Canty. And, that's going to be a dangerous combination, too. It's not Johnny Stanton. I don't know if they can win a state championship again, but they're going to be a factor still.
All right, so that's what's going on this week in football. We got a ton of games. We understand, we got inside information. The weather's going to cool off, right? However, the football stays hot here at OCVarsity.com, where we've got you covered.